Hey guys, this is a general reading for Taurus for May 2019. I know the last one I did was for Taurus, but just because it's your birthday and all that, and I feel guided to. There's so many planets happening in the sign this month. I'm going to do this one first. For anybody who's watching, because I took a break for a little while. I had to, just for some me time and stuff like that. So this is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Also, if you have significant Taurus in your chart, if you're just guided to this video, if you're cross-watching, for someone else who's a Taurus, it's just if you're drawn to it. Also, for more of a complete picture, or if this doesn't resonate, you may want to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, any other significant placements in your chart, or just any video of mine that you're drawn to that I've already made or that I make in the future. Just a couple more things real quick before I get started. This energy is fluid, so it could have already happened. It could be happening, or it could happen a little bit in the future. This could be, I could be reading it for you. It could be somebody else. I could be reading it as love. It could be career. So just apply it to your life as necessary. Don't apply it. Don't make it fit if it doesn't fit. Just apply what applies, because some, none, or all of it may apply. Okay. If you want more information, if you want to see if this energy applies to you, any guidance, information for blocks, anything like that, all my information is in the description box below. So check that out. Please read all of it. Don't just email me. Obviously, if you need help, I will help you. But most of the information is there in the description box below. Most people just go to my email and then they email me. It's pretty much all there, including read my disclaimer, everything like that. Also, thank you for those of you who have like, share, comment, and subscribe. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. Also, thank you so much for those of you who have asked about donation information and donated to the channel. That information is all in the description box below for anybody else who's asking, because any type of money that comes in, whether it's through the channel money, service money, donations, anything like that, for the most part, it goes to me continuing my healing journey so that I can heal myself and then learn how to give back and heal others, because this is a time where a lot of people, they just really need help, with all of this. So I'm currently in shamanic training, advanced my Reiki with Holy Fire, and starting next year in 2020, I'll be learning plant spirit medicine, all of that, to continue helping people. I can also do it distant. So just thank you so much for everybody who's contributed with that, either to just keep the energy going, or if you felt the video, really helped you in some way. But at the very or at least, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know your experience, how it resonates with you, just your story. I love reading it, even if I can't always get back to it and comment. Please like the video if it has helped you in some way. Also, to circulate the message, maybe there's other people who want to hear it. But you get the drill. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, all of you, for being patient with me. If there's anything else, I will say it, just in case I'm forgetting something, I don't know. But the vibe that I'm getting, Taurus, so technically the reading is starting now, but I'm going to tell you the energy I'm feeling before I start picking up the cards, is something to be, I don't want to say to be weary of, but that can kind of come in and throw you for a loop, confuse you, really is going to make you go back and forth and think about some things. Not only see things differently that maybe you'd been waiting on or thought you wanted, or just how you see things in life or about yourself. It might make you see that situation differently, or person, but also yourself. It's really going to make you dig within yourself and find your connections, who you really are. I mean, just your depths. I'm not going to put a positive or a negative on that because that is very much up to perspective. But it's definitely going to be hitting some core stuff and some deeply ingrained concepts, ways of thinking, blocks, a little bit of the vibe of maybe an emotional roller coaster, a little bit. I don't know how much, but a little bit. So you have a real big emphasis here on making sure that you maintain your balance, self-care. Hold on a second. Okay. But self-care. Pulling away when you need to, meditating, absolutely make sure you meditate. Water is going to be very important to you, not only water signs possibly, but water to help maintain balance, water and earthing. But a big thing on balance, maintaining balance. So you may want to be looking up tools on that. I can show you a couple or tell you about a couple little things, but I can't tell you everything in one video. So meditation and balance and self-love. So in the center of your reading, happy birthday, by the way, Tauruses. I didn't tell you last month in the April one. I completely forgot, especially considering I'm an April Taurus. But happy birthday to the April and the May Tauruses. All Tauruses. I really do think this does end up good, though. It ends up very beneficial to where feeling-wise we want to go. And help wrapping up the cycle. I feel like it's a little... Some people have things they feel coming in, like they know they're coming. And I've said in a few of my readings that there's little steps, and some of them are going to be, pre-ones to them and be kind of the uncomfortable part. It's going to be a little uncomfortable and need to have endurance. It's not just going to come in and amazing. So if you are one of those people, you know what I'm talking about by saying that. I feel like this is one of those little uncomfortable parts. Maybe not even all that little, but an uncomfortable part. But in a way also that is a game changer for at the very least you, but possibly for the other situation and or person. And I don't mean that's when it'll wrap it up. I mean, it's a monumental turning event though. In the center of the reading, you have the Queen of Swords and the Three of Cups. Three of Cups you have twice. Very much saying that you need to keep your wits about you. Don't get too lost in illusion or being delusional. Don't get too wrapped up in your emotions to where you forget about the logic. Make sure you have a head and a heart balance. Remember the things you've learned. Absolutely remember your boundaries. I don't know if I've said that already. Boundaries. Make logical decisions. It will be fun and it will be very easy to get caught up in the fun of it. This is a person or a place or a thing. It is something that emotionally will feel a certain way to you. It might even seem like that other thing you've been waiting for or emotion you've been waiting for, that everything is back and right in the world again. Like all at once, maybe. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, because I do feel like it's coming. Because you have to remember, part of this is an internal thing, a perspective thing. This is still going to be from an outside source, which is the reason that I'm saying this and that I feel guided to say this. Always, I will say this, always follow your own intuition. These readings are not, future predictors, although sometimes they do that. I never aim for it like that. I aim for it to give advice and guidance to assist in your own thinking, your own provoking of thought for when you do your own thing. Do not do something just because I say it. Do not do it just because I say what's coming in. These are energies. They can highly be manipulated or changed, or you can change the outcome. Okay? Also, you could do anything with this. So, hopefully you guys roll with me on this, but usually you guys are pretty good, but don't be like, oh, when something coming in, blah, blah, we're going to press. No. Like, you do what you want with this. I'm just going to give you a piece of advice of the energy that I see. And what I'm also guided to say. It'll be both. I'm not going to lie. I don't always fully channel. If I see something in a pattern, I will say it, and then I will also channel. It is what it is. This is the way it goes. This is an outside source of happiness. Yay, but needs to be in harmony with your own sense of fulfillment that's already there. Why I'm saying this is, don't get too caught on it. Don't get too codependent on it. Don't forget what you've been trying to do. Don't let it overtake and distract you from what you've been doing. This is not even necessarily a new thing. It could be a new thing. It could be something from the past, especially with what's in your crowning position, which we will get to. My point is, have your boundaries. You don't have to push it away and be like, but at the same time, don't just be like, yes, this is it. And you just take it all in like wide open and that's it again. Like, I'm done growing. I'm done learning. I'm done doing everything. Like, it's here. My stuff's here. I can let all my guards down. I can, just don't go to that. Proper balance. Because what's crossing you is you have the 9 of Cups. So, this is a little bit egoic of a card, so just don't let your ego get attached to that, kind of in the way it is in the past. But even more so, what I get from this is, I feel like in some way, it's what you have wanted, or a resemblance of what you have wanted, or emotionally what you were looking for, especially considering you have the 3 of Cups and then you have the 9 of Cups. So whether it's somebody coming in, a reunion, it could be job, just apply it to your life as necessary. But you could doubt it yourself, which is why you could even just be sitting in the Queen of Swords energy and not even trusting it coming in. So it may not even be, we'll see when we get to the advice. Because this might even be like, truly something coming in. And, you don't trust it. This is going to go different ways. There's different energies here. Some of it, the Taurus isn't going to trust. Some of it, the Taurus is going to be super excited. And I feel like it's guidance. Because it is something that you've wanted for whatever reason. Whether it's you truly want it, retribution, whatever. Let's go on with this. I'm going to try to remember to come back and see. I don't even know if I can pin that down because I feel like there's different energies. But I just have this vibe, especially by the other stuff, that I've pulled that whatever is coming in is either not what you think it is or are going to hope it to be, or it's going to be short term. So just remember to have your head and your heart balance. And I think this is for a reason why all this is happening. There is something, in a way, very karmic or very meant to be. It's going to actually help you balance out and see things more properly. In the foundation of the reading, you have the Two of Swords and you have the World card. So, very much about a decision. Somebody might need to cut somebody out, whether there's a third party situation or whether there's not, whether it's just you and the other person or the other situation. But there's very much a thing very much in here also about a decision needing to be made by Taurus. Somebody else could make it. And there's also kind of pieces of advice here that if that is made, where somebody else does it, kind of not to get too down on yourself and just go with your feelings and heal, because it's what's supposed to happen and it's going to help you. You'll see what I mean. I'm just going to go, hopefully it usually wraps together nicely, so we'll see. But either way, there is a decision to be made. There might be something that could be something you're not seeing. But maybe needing to make a decision to either end a cycle I really get a vibe for some of you, probably a lot of you actually, that someone or something is going to come in and you're going to see a side to them or it that, you know, you didn't see before. Or you want to deliver karma from before. But I think there's going to be something that you're not going to see. Or it's going to confuse you at first. Maybe you remember your boundaries. And then as you do, like you see a side of them that you've never seen before. It, them, whatever. And maybe that's what you're not seeing that maybe you will end up seeing. That it just brings you balance, even especially with your perspective and the situation, like you see it. Tell me about the Two of Swords. So you have the Three of Swords clarifying that. The Two of Swords. So you may have to make a heartbreaking decision. Or you don't want to see it or make the decision because it'll hurt your heart. But you know something needs to end. Either change, like the cycle, or the whole interaction. The World card. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do it or you. It's funny, I ended up with the same cards. With the Four of Wands. Something of what you've seen either in your stability or your home life, or what you are working for. Some of you could be twin flame situation, but whatever you were working for or saw, you know, that maybe you even wanted. I feel like that's going to change. It either is changing or it's going to change. And you're going to set on a new path. Yeah, to like manifest something else. You have the Page of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, the Magician, the Star, Death, Three of Cups, Fool. And you're going to have a level of self-love, especially. Boundaries and self-love, but conviction to you. Excuse me. Like, you're going to have to make a decision that's probably going to hurt you. Like, break your heart, maybe. Or goes against anything you would even probably thought you would have wanted. And choose to stop or not fight for it. And then clarifying the World card, you have the Page of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So, kind of really doing your thing, speaking your truth, putting your boundaries up, doing what's best for you, and cutting out or removing yourself from whatever is not serving you. Like, there's an end to a cycle that it's going to be a little painful. Like, it is going to bother you. It's going to bring you anxiety. You're going to have a lot of like back and forth thoughts over it. You know, what do I do? You will figure it out. There will be a little bit of loss. It is going to hurt a little bit, but you will get yourself back together after a little bit of mulling it over and licking your wounds. And it's going to bring you this cup that brought you from the Eight of Cups to what you wanted to get here emotionally anyways. It's like either you were going after the wrong thing, or that thing wasn't going to bring you that emotion to where it wasn't meant to ever, or it's just teaching you to get that emotion because you can't go after something to get that emotion anyways. Like, say if this is a person, you want to have that emotion so that when you manifest it, it vibrates that out and you bring that in, that somebody that already has that fulfillment within them too. You don't want to like bring them in to like get this, you know, this and this. This is codependency when you're doing that. So it could just at the very least be helping you to get to that. But either way, after you get through the thing of it, you lick your wounds, you come out a little bit better. Now your cup is runneth over on its own. And here you are with the Empress, Four of Wands. It's like it takes you to where you were trying to go, or what you were trying to get to emotionally. I think it just does it in a different way. Possibly with a different outcome, I don't know, but it's not so straightforward. It's like it brings you through yourself. You like know it, but part of you is still like, come on, you know, because you just want that to like make you feel good. And this is going to be it's going to bring you inwards to find that. So kind of increasing your own discipline, your own, what do I want? What's best for me? Okay, I want this, but is it what's best for me? Can I be okay with having this if it's not what's best for me? Does this emotionally override what I know what is best for me? Can I do something that is best for me that gives me the same amount of emotional satisfaction? Is this level of emotional satisfaction healthy? Is it instant gratification? Is it too intense to where, like, it's not maintainable? You know, I can't answer that. You're going to have, that's literally what this is all about. And you're going to kind of have a little bit of anxiety going back and forth. Please, 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 you know, utilize water, ocean, lakes, whatever, baths, salt baths, spiritual baths, like Epsom salt, not like table salt, meditation. Please stay balanced during this. I know firsthand how much overthinking can cause you to go into some really bad things. So please stay balanced, disconnect from having to even worry about it if you have to maintain balance, because it doesn't really matter. It's probably not going to be that immediate to have to think about it, and anything that does make you think about it that fast and it has to go, 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 you shouldn't be doing. You should be able to take time to think about whatever this is. And anything that acts like otherwise, it probably is your first indicator you shouldn't be doing it. So take your time. Self-love. Go do your own thing if you have to. If you have to take a break from thinking about it, take a break from thinking about it. Because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you're safe and you have all that you need. I mean, I can go on forever with that, but you get what I'm saying. In your recent past, you have the Three of Pentacles. So I think you were trying to create, you were trying to build, you were trying to work together with probably whatever this is, whatever, whoever, whatever. You were probably trying to work together. I don't know. Maybe even you tried in the past to work together or to do something together, and this person just was stupid about it, or they just wasted your time. If this is a romantic situation, maybe they just wanted sex, wanted to keep you as an option and keep you with competition. You get what I'm saying by that? But either way, you tried to work together for a new beginning, and it just didn't really work out. It caused, you know, confusion and it going nowhere. Just you say something, they say something, like it just went nowhere. There was nothing productive from it. I think you tried to do like the Three of Swords energy. Crowning your reading is the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. So you know, I don't know if this is just what you're thinking about, or if this actually comes in, or if you're just still sitting there thinking about a new beginning and something that you kind of are very nostalgic about, or you think about a lot or daydream about. Maybe someone or something coming back, something that you have fond memories of. Starting a new tangible beginning. So it could be, you know, work, just something that you value. And it emotionally means or meant a lot to you. In your likely future, you have the Justice card. So balance. But I think you do make a decision. Tell me about the Justice card. That's funny. So you have the High Priestess clarifying it. The reason why I say it, I haven't gotten to it yet, is in your likely future, you have the Justice. One of your cards in your likely outcome, you have the High Priestess. And you have the High Priestess here. And I think it's funny because the Justice card in this tarot deck is 11. And the High Priestess is 2, but it looks like 11. So there's very much something of the same. I mean, you have the pillars. You have, the sheet up so you can't see. Things being hidden from you, but revealed also as you need to see them. What's up with the Justice card? I think a decision being made. I think you use your intuition. I hope you do anyways, but I think you use your intuition to make this decision. And it's something that sits right with you. It balances you out because probably before you didn't use your intuition, you went off, your ego or just emotions or whatever. I just think you use your intuition. And I think what is really going to come, even though it is going to bring you balance, sometimes there's a little bit of, chaos before balance in nature too. But I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a battle of your head and your heart, your ego and your intuition. One part of you is really going to want to do one thing, and one part of you is really going to want to do another. And I think, one reason why this is probably in your life is because this makes me want to cry thinking about it. So it's not only a little bit sad, but a little bit beautiful too, in a bittersweet kind of way. But it's a very defining moment for who you are, where you've been, how far you've come. And I get this vibe, and every time I come to say it, it makes me want to cry. But it's like you have come through having to go through this process into being more of your authentic self. And in a way that's really exciting, but in a way that's really scary. It holds a lot of responsibilities, but has great potential at the same time, and is what would bring you this Nine of Cups anyways. It was in you all along. But it's in that moment that you realize, especially for a Taurus, because, they hold on to so much. Like, they're so detrimentally loyal a lot of times. And I feel like it's in this moment that you realize that you're not that person anymore. And that even what you want and what you desire and what you'll put up with is different. But mostly that you're not that person. It's like that moment where it kind of clicks to you. I mean, I know I'm going to hit it so simple, but it's so complex. Like, that you're not that person anymore. And what I mean by that is it really clicks in your head that makes it to where you're able to shed. Because I think that's what makes it so hard for Tauruses to let go. It's not really that they're stubborn, and yes, they are a little slower to move, but it's because when things come in and we build, I mean, we're the earth, you know? We're a fixed sign and we're like the earth. You might as well make us a mountain, you know? A mountain that doesn't move. So it really takes a lot of push and conviction, and it just has to click for us a lot of times to make it to where we're like, either, whoa, we push the thing out, or it just naturally, the energy then goes. Because that click happened. It takes a little longer for the click to happen sometimes to Tauruses. Just because they're so, you know, rock sturdy. Even in their thinking. Which is why this whole Uranus and Taurus is a little bit like, for a lot of them at first, you know, because they're so used to just being like, and not flowy. And that's where, if some of you guys are able to tap into energies, excuse me, it really would be beneficial to go be around like water or the ocean, or maybe take baths or something. But if you can tap into energies, try to tap into, like, in meditation, water, or the flowiness of water, or put on like a guided meditation of like flowy streams, or like flowy oceans, or even, I don't even know. You can look it up and be like, do they have a guided meditation of the element of water? I don't even know. Look it up. But something like that may really help you to be in the flow. This is very, very, very much a time where you're going to want to be in the flow. Flow. Do not lock down. This is not a time to lock down. Because especially when this thought comes through, where it really hits you, that it's either not what you thought it was, and or you're not what you thought you were and what you held on to. I mean, that's a big thing, especially if it's both. That it's something you held so dear and so big that is being removed from everything inside of you, but also you are being removed. So if that happens and you're locking down, it is going to be very, very uncomfortable for you. That is where you're going to feel all that resistance going on inside of you. You're going to feel the blocks. You're going to feel the anxiety. You're going to feel the depression. You're going to feel so many things. I mean, yeah, you might have a little bit of anxiety, depression anyways. I mean, it's just normal processing, but not in a big way to where you can literally feel like inside your body a mountain and a mountain are having a fist fight. You know what I mean? Like, I hope you know what I mean by that, but it's just like going off. Like, it's painful. So do not lock down in this moment. Please don't. Don't do it. Because part of that is also an illusion. It's not really gone. It's just you holding on to it and needing the story is gone. All of the other stuff will always be in you. It's integrated into you. It's part of you. As long as you have the memories, it's there. And even probably not then, the energy is there. But that holding on, blockage, limitation part, the codependency part, the fear part, is what will be removed. So I don't want to say this to you to be like, it ain't shit, you know, like whatever. I'm not saying it like that. But I'm saying it in the sense of it's also not something to be like, you know, you don't have to get so like, oh my God, it will never be, I'll never this, I'll never that. Like I can never think about it again. You probably just won't want to think about it again. And you don't have to worry about it because you're not going to want to. Like, it's going to reset things for you. And yes, it's going to be a little bit of whatever, but it is going to go, so flow with it. But at the same time, the things that come up, because your ego is going to be triggered, it's going to feel like part of you, you know, is dying or is leaving or whatever. You're going to go through an ego transformation. And a lot of the stuff that's going to come up or might come up, if it doesn't, woohoo, if it does, it's an illusion, okay? Just observe it, see it, observe it, love it, and have compassion for it, and let it go. Please choose, I know I keep saying this, but it's so important. Please choose to be like water this month. Please. Because it will very, very much benefit you. It's going to hurt a whole lot more if you don't. So please let whatever happens and goes, go. Because I don't feel like it's just something else. I feel like it's a part of you. The reason for it is because it's not in alignment anymore. And there's a new part of you, a new, better you. That Empress, where is she at? Part of you. This is trying to come in. It cannot come if you don't make room for it. But also, the energy and the expectation or whatever it is going to be different for different people, that is going to be let go of, is blocking this that you want cannot come with that there. Whatever it is about it, because it could be so many different things. Whether the face of it will look different that brings this happiness, whether the energy just has to go because you can't rise vibration to bring this in, whether whatever. I mean, it's going to be so many different things. Hit me up for personal reading if you need help with this, but that's why I can't go more deep on that, because it's going to be different for everybody. But whatever the energy is and the limitations that are blocking this from coming in, that is going to be removed or help being removed. And that's why watch your perspective, stay in a positive perspective about it, because it's actually bringing in that which you want. The emotion that you want. It's going to help you level up as well. Because honestly, I feel like in order to feel this way, you have to level up. This person right here, just so you know, is not in a lack mentality. They're not in a fear-based mentality. It's also a water sign. It's the Nine of Cups. It's a very flowy energy. A fear or lack-based mentality is not a flowy energy. It's a rigid energy. It's like the Four of Pentacles or the Devil card or whatever. So this is actually beneficial because it's helping you be more flowy. It's helping you level up and raise vibration, which is bringing you into your Empress level status and your Four of Wands. Whether it's actually a thing, whether it's actually a person, or whether it is just a fixing of your perspective. I don't know why I'm so teachy today, but please just follow with me. It's just happening. But I will say this before I go on too, and it might be why this is so monumental. So there is going to be a lot that starts happening with Taurus, even in the beginning of the month of May, because the sun, once it comes into our season, well, it already is now, is going to be conjunct Uranus in our sign, the sun. So it's going to illuminate things. It's going to bring power to things. And it's going to be, you know, a shakeup. Uranus is very much of a shakeup kind of energy, but for the better. It's sort of like a tower energy. I don't even know if sort of, it is. It comes in and just, and then you just watch the dust settle. And you just be like, yay, how it settles. It's kind of like the rainbow after the storm kind of thing, I guess. But even more than that, starting on the 15th of May, you will have Venus in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, and the sun in Taurus. When does Mercury go in Taurus? So a week before, so on the 7th of May, somewhere about the 7th of May, you'll have Mercury, Uranus, and the sun in Taurus. So it's probably going to start to somewhat even more start changing like your communication, the way you're thinking, changing things up, what you see. Then a week later, about a week later, the 15th, then here comes Venus. Home to your sign, but yet all about love, what you value, beauty, romance. Maybe even seeing, because it is about romance. Like, I know, like, Taurus is somewhat get credit for it. I think usually, like, you know, I always say Taurus and Pisces are like the two doormats of the zodiac. They're also the two highly romantic ones of the zodiac. Like, they're just really romantic. So is Libra to some degree, but Libra's a little bit more airy and cutting about it, I think. But they still are. They're ruled by Venus. But, you know, Taurus is very homey. That's why I think they're a little bit more. They're very about that building, you know, that home life and that relationship and love and comfort and pleasure and, you know, just all of that. So, you know, when that comes in and is hitting with like Mercury and communication and the way you think, and the sun, which is power and illumination, you know, and Uranus, which shakes things up, like whether it just happens by a download or something actually happening in your life, I feel like May is really going to be good. It's going to be empowering. It's really actually what you want. It's really what Tauruses have been waiting for, to get that energy aligned and be able to move. And why I say like, oh, it's a reason we're being held back. This is exactly the reason why we're being held back. Because there's something that has to be removed so that now when we go, and I feel like it'll be after May or whenever your energy alignment is for you, you're going to be able to go. You're going to know what to focus on, and you're going to know what to work on. And you're not going to be wasting your energy like sitting here like this with your energy just in a bunch of different places. No, it's going to be focused now. And you know what happens when a Taurus focuses. Crap gets done. Okay? They move forward. They get going. And this is what Tauruses have been waiting for. I'm not going to say it's like a last hurrah, but in some ways it's definitely one of the bigger like out, you know, that needs to go, whether it's physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, just, or all the above. It's like it's helping you move. It's that thing that you needed, kind of like this. Like, I know, what was it, in June or July of like last year, probably, when I did the, you know, one of my bigger Taurus readings, and was like, how many times have you just been like, can I just get out of this energy? Like, it actually does help you move out of that energy, even just within your own energy, just internally. So I feel like this being in your likely future is like you make that decision, but you make it this time based off your intuition. And you are going to be so much more in alignment with yourself than you ever have. Like, I know that even with me lately, like I can just feel a lot of the energies lately and stuff that's happening and changing, but I have become so aware of my body that it is actually becoming really hard for me not to do things that are in alignment with me. It legit makes me like sick or really anxious, or like I just know. Like even if I go to eat something my body doesn't want to eat. I don't know if it'll always be this way, but it seems to be lately, especially in the last like week. I mean, it's always kind of been this way. It's been leading up, but this past like week, I guess maybe since the full moon. I don't know. I think so, but week to 2 weeks, but really targeted in the last few like week, I guess few days, but whatever. You get my point. I can't. If I even go to eat something that my body doesn't want to eat, I will take a couple bites and just huge like, no. Like, no. And I notice that I get this when I'm not in alignment and I don't listen to my body, like my body legit vibrates like someone stuck an electrical plug up my butt or something, you know, and it's just like, blah, 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 like, it's so weird. And it was the weirdest way that I figured out how my body was talking to me. I know this sounds weird, but how it was talking to me in ways that I always was like, oh, this sucks. I wish this would go away. Like something's wrong with me. Why is it doing this? And then through like just little epiphanies I had or certain things that happened in my way of thinking, it would instantly stop or start it. And I realized it was talking to me and that's why it was doing it, and that I could actually control it. I don't even know how to describe that, but I'm becoming so sensitive with my body and being in alignment and what I'm in alignment with. Like food-wise, movement-wise, people-wise, their energy, like what I want to do, how I'm thinking. So I don't know. And I think this is just another step towards that. Like, it's just, so I choose not to eat those things that do that to me. And that sucks to some degree, you know, because you really want it. And I don't know if it'll always be that way, but in that moment, you know, you can't have it. And the you that likes that, enjoys eating it, and remembers eating that, like, you know, can't. That was an old you that did that and got to eat those things and not worry about it. You know, it's a weighing, it's a pros and cons. Like, you could probably have that, but you're starting now to become aware, like, of, do you want what goes along with it? Because you're not naive to it anymore. You apply this to wherever. I'm just going to speak so you'll guys know what to do with it. But I was actually saying to my husband, you know, a little while ago, I was like, this really sucks because, you know, now that I don't have the cognitive dissonance anymore. Look it up. I'm not going to explain that. I'm not trying to be like, but I'm trying to like hurry for time, and I don't know if I have time to explain that, but it's basically where you think one thing and you do another, or, you know, what you want and see that they're not the same. So the story you see in your head and the reality around you, they're not the same. What you want, you don't do. How you see things, that's not how they really are. You know, what you say you're going to do, you don't do. All that stuff. It doesn't align. It's not alignment, basically, in a nutshell. But look it up. Cognitive dissonance. But I'm like, oh, now that I don't have it, you know, this sucks. Like, there's like this really unhappy period. Because when you're not aware of your cognitive dissonance, it's almost like that ignorance is bliss type thing. Which isn't really true, but it's just you don't know what you don't know yet. So I'm like, that kind of sucks, because sometimes you get kind of like depressed, you know, because now it's not there, you're not in the illusion anymore, you're like, crap, you know, now there is all this responsibility you didn't know about, now there is all this crappy stuff you didn't know about. And I realized afterwards, it wasn't that I didn't have the cognitive dissonance, it was not yet, it was that I was more aware of my cognitive dissonance than I had been before. So now it actually bothers me and it makes me feel either anxious or sad because I can feel it. I can feel now when I'm not in alignment. And I couldn't before. And it's starting to really bother me really bad. I mean, I try to have a level of compassion for wherever I am, so I work on it, but just the whole saying and wanting certain things and not doing it, like I'm just like, this has got to go. I don't want it anymore. So I don't know how that fits with you guys, but I just thought I'd say that because I feel like maybe a lot of other Tauruses are going through this too. Maybe even a lot of other people who aren't Tauruses, but I can just feel my cognitive dissonance so much more now, and it bothers me so bad, and it bothers me not feeling in my alignment. And I can feel it now too, to where I'm just like, I can't really ignore it. It becomes very uncomfortable, and it's just pushing me more and more. Like by the end of this, you know, if you follow this and you start listening and paying attention to it and doing what's really speaking to you, you are going to be in alignment. And to me personally, this is alignment. Because I've always said, to me, happiness looks like what I want and what I say and what I do are all the same thing. And I get it's a little bit more than that. But for the most part, for me and my journey, what I've battled with in my life, happiness looks like what I think and what I say and what I do all being the same thing. And that's alignment. I feel like this is helping Tauruses get more in alignment, become more in balanced and more harmonious. Because for a long time, I feel like what Tauruses have seen and what Tauruses have wanted and what Tauruses have gone for is not what has been the case. Not on all the levels that it's bringing us to. Maybe financially, maybe security-wise, but on so many other areas in our life. And maybe that's why they're like, you can't have money and love. You have to choose one or the other. Because we didn't know what to do with our energy and we didn't know what was going on, so we could only put our energy so much into one area. So maybe now with us actually, I'm just guessing, hopefully, fingers crossed, with us being in more alignment now after this, we actually can manifest what we want in different areas, because now we can actually see those things in different areas. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope so. And if not, it doesn't matter, because that happiness will be like, it'll be internal. So, you know. I feel like you're going to have to let some part of you and or some idea die, like something that you've been waiting on. And whether it's financially, love, whatever, you will be taken care of through this time, though. Put your energy into things that do make you feel good and feel prosperous in the moment. I mean, if it's work and making money, do that in the moment. But just work on yourself, stay balanced, meditate, be in nature and all that. But at the same time, like, do what you also normally and can do that makes you feel successful and confident in the moment while you're transitioning. I mean, if you just need downtime, it's okay. Don't worry about how things look or if somebody says something about you. Do not waste your energy on that. Do not let somebody trigger you. Please don't let somebody trigger you. This lady does not let people trigger her. She knows what they're doing. She knows her boundaries. Also, don't let somebody who they're unhappy with the choice that you make come in and step all over you to make you change your decision. Have your boundaries. Don't let yourself come and step all over you for a decision you make, because it's kind of scary and not what you would normally do. Have your boundaries. Boundaries start first and foremost to yourself. That is self-love. Then they also go to outside people. But that's self-discipline when you have boundaries to yourself. But someone or something is going to be removed from your life. And this is going to bring you a level of happiness, because this thing or person that you've wanted, at least in this part of your life and in the past, but at least right now and in the past, I don't know about the future. That's what I'm trying to say. They caused you to have a level of indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. And I feel like the reason for that is because of the cognitive dissonance that had to be in order to keep that person, situation, dream, fantasy, whatever it is, going and alive. There was a confusion and a going on because a Taurus has to be in alignment. They have to be focused in order to move forward. So if there's anything that's not within that makes us not sure, then that's when we're like, even if we're still acting and mostly like moving kind of slowly, that internal battle is inside, and it's just, it's setting us off. We're not happy. We're not in alignment, all of that. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to kind of move on from this, but, I'll go with these real quick before I go on to... So it says muddled, unclear thinking again. Wish will not be granted. Keep your life in balance. A change for the better. Situations in the balance that require careful handling, and beware of self-delusion. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, something's going to come in and kind of throw your thinking off for a loop. Whether it's their ways, your own desires, like, you're going to feel this cognitive dissonance is basically what I'm saying. That's probably why I told you that story. And you're going to know that it can't be any longer because it sets you so much off balance. Which is why I keep your life in balance. To where you're either going to have to make it in ways that do keep your life in balance, and maybe this person or thing won't like it at first, or it just can't be in your life right now because it's throwing you off balance. Whatever it is, it'll be different for everybody. But this is happening for the better. Whether it's teaching you to have boundaries for the situation, whether it's having you remove the situation, whatever. But handle it carefully also. Take care of yourself. Self-care. Speak your truth. Do what resonates with you and what's in alignment. But be thoughtful about it. Don't be impulsive or, like, I feel like Tauruses have such a backup of things and energies they want to say. Like, I know I have a lot going on in my throat a lot lately, and a lot of Tauruses do. Be careful that doesn't all come out. Especially if you have certain resentments and stuff to heal, or certain things. Like, please make sure you don't vomit old wounds and old resentments on someone or something. Like, write that out, get the energy out, or make sure you really discipline yourself while talking. Do not let yourself get triggered, because this person or situation may trigger you as you're laying your boundaries down. So please handle this situation carefully. Go away for a little while if you need to. Take some breaths. Tell them literally, I need a few moments to think, and let them respect that and stop talking to you for a minute while you think and gather yourself. Because you know how Tauruses can be when they really, like, get pulled out of their safety pin. And those horns come out, like, in a second. And then beware of self-delusion. So not only your past wounds, not only your hopes and fears, your codependencies, I didn't mean to flip you off, but even like this dragon, and he's going with fire. Like, please come at this in a very controlled way, because there's going to be some old wounds and old fears, and you probably even speak in your truth and lay in your boundaries, and you're going to want it to go, you know, properly. Let the person be able to receive you because you're coming in a proper way. But also, let's face it, there's probably some things that happened or some ways you saw that probably weren't accurate, or they were your truth but not their truth. And if you want to have some type of meeting in the middle that either happens now or later on down the road after people get to think about it and life happens to help you with your perspective and theirs with theirs, whatever, you get what I'm saying. But yours is not the only truth, is what I'm trying to say. And neither is theirs. And there could be some pent up stuff, because I can feel it, wanting to just like, you're like, and you just let it go. Please just don't let it go. And don't let them trigger you into letting it go just to make it to where then you feel bad, or they get what they want, or they could go out in a certain way and then now you got resentment and blah, blah, blah. Please hone in on your self-discipline. Take time away if you need to. Do not let yourself get triggered. Please build up your toolbox for this time and learn ways, like your ways of just taking your like breathe, meditate, like don't get too much, like, because even if it does get ruined forever or whatever it is, like, you know, you want to come in that way of integrity and genuineness and respect in the way that you normally aim to. Don't let those core things have you do something that you don't want to do. I mean, if you do, it's okay. Like, forgive yourself, apologize if you need to or whatever. But, you know, maybe try to journal and stuff in the meantime too, to release some of that energy. But just remember that this is also shifting your perspective. So yes, you're going to have your truth to speak. No, somebody cannot change your truth, but also let them speak their truth. Because then once that you speak your truth and they speak their truth, if this is two people and you guys go on your separate ways, you can both think about it later and allow your mind to change its perspective maybe into a healthier way for you to see things from something you didn't see before, which will either help you in your life and or help you in them see eye to eye now. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? So just don't allow yourself to be triggered, basically. Like, work all your tools. Remember the stuff you've learned. And maybe in the meantime, really practice on your meditation techniques, your grounding techniques, your, you know, water flowiness techniques. Get some energy out by writing or singing or whatever to get some of that throat energy out. And if you need a moment when you feel yourself getting to whatever, ask them for a minute. You know what I mean? And just come back. And remember that this is a learning phase. It's also about speaking your truth, really, for the first time, really. But also you are learning too. So don't walk into this like you're not learning and just let me tell you something. No. You're sharing and you're receiving. And if they're in this whole whacked out phase themselves, sit back and observe. Shut your mouth. So we'll move on from that right now. And how you see yourself is you have the Wheel of Fortune, the Page of Wands, and Temperance. So, you know, you're wanting to either, you want things to get better. Like, you want things to turn. You want to set on your new path that you're enthusiastic about. Lights a flame in you again. And that brings you basically balance and healing. Which is interesting that in this card, you know, they're going like this with the cups. So there is a showing of a flowing of water here. That it's almost like your sturdiness and your foundation, but yet your healing and your balance will come if you, like I was saying, with the flowing of the water. If you can learn to, like, flow with this. basically, I think what it's also asking you to, which is kind of what I'll get to in these cards over here, is saying is you're also going to utilize this situation to create alchemy from. Like, you are going to utilize it for your benefit. Not only of seeing something inside of you, of finding your power again, but of seeing something inside of you, honestly, that you either never saw or felt before, or you did see or feel it, but you didn't know what it was, or you didn't know you could do this with it. Like, really finding more stuff out about yourself. And also seeing more of your own magic, honestly, that comes here too, which kind of blends with that, but in a way of you realize it was you all along. It was never the other person. It was never the other situation. It was you. And we'll get to that. But you're wanting things to change. And, go on that new path and create healing and balance and change. Talking about the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, change. Move forward. Make the decision, move forward. Either move forward or get what you feel like you deserve. One or the other. Like you're like, I've been doing so good. Where are my blessings? Like, I want this. Or something would be nice, I guess. What's in your environment? You have the Sun card. You have the King of Cups. And you have the Lovers. You have the Lovers twice, actually. So, really you have all signs on the board. Because you have... I don't know if I've quite seen the Emperor yet. So maybe this if some of you are dealing with, if this is a person and not a situation or life event, maybe you're both actually about to level up. Because yours as the Empress did come up, but it's saying that you will level up to the Empress. But so far I've had the King of Cups, the King of Wands, the King of Swords. I'm not sure if I've had the King of Pentacles. Although I think I did somewhere in these other cards. Come to think of it, that's actually what I'm missing from both. And it's in these cards, though, if you go through it, is the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. But I have the Queens and the Kings for the air, the fire, and the water signs. But not the earth signs. Which is crazy that I'm, doing Taurus. So... either that energy is not needed because you guys already have the groundedness, or I think that's what it is that you're already so grounded that it needs a little shaking up, actually, to get you to move energies in order to level up. So the energies are actually coming in. I don't know. I'm not pulling fully cards on the other person or situation, but I get this vibe that both will have a level of leveling up, or which I've had this in other readings, like a type of perspective change or something. Because these other energies are pushing them also, I think, to the Empress or the Emperor vibe. Flip-flop it as necessary. And you to the Empress. So I don't know if this is a divine masculine and feminine couple or whatever, but either way, these 3 cards, you have Leo, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and Gemini. But really, it could be all of them. I mean, I do have some Pentacle cards, but I really don't have a lot of Pentacle cards, actually. I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I have like 3 out of all the cards, and I have a lot of cards. Pentacles. So this is a whole lot of like thinking, emotions, and passion. However, now looking at it, I don't have a lot of wands either. There's a lot of swords and cups, and then major arcana. Because there's only 2 wands, and one of them's the Queen of Wands, and one's the Page of Wands. Which again is a leveling up for you, going from the Page of Wands to the Queen. But a lot of cups and a lot of swords. So again, like I said, the main thing, this, you might literally, like the lovers say, have to make a head over heart decision. I mean, you literally sitting here in the middle of your thing have like head over heart. And you might have to get like your ego in check or something, or your inner child in check, and literally reevaluate if this is the best thing for you. Or whatever your particular story is. But I'm not sure if this is really how this person's coming up, or if this is just how you're seeing them. I mean, this is a whole lot of like really actually good cards. The Sun card, the King of Cups, and the Lovers. I really get this vibe like, and here's your world on the bottom of it. I really get this vibe like it is really being presented as like a great option, or something you've always wanted or dreamed of, or like you'd be crazy not to take it. But I don't think that's really it. Tell me about these 3 energies. Yeah. You have the 8 of Cups. Like, I don't know if they're walking away energy or if you're going to. And then you got this energy is the 6 of Cups that's in your thoughts. I think this is your perception. Like, I don't know if this person walked away from you. Here's your Queen of Pentacles. There's your Emperor. There's your Empress. I think that you decide not to. And I don't know if it's that you don't trust this person, or if you feel like something's not real about it, or if it's your justice back to them for whatever they did to you. I mean, I feel like you walk away. And I think it's really going to hurt you. I think some part of you is really going to fight with itself and be like, what are you doing? And you're really going to have to integrate all those energies and really see why. And, you know, I've already said it all. Like, as you're talking even, you're going to feel that cognitive dissonance, and it's going to get stronger, and it's going to get stronger. And there's just something, I just get this vibe, like there's just something that you're going to feel is not right about it. Whether it's their intention, whether it's that you've moved on, and you didn't realize it until that opportunity presented itself to you. I think it just doesn't sit right with you anymore. And maybe there's not enough new energy to make it to where you're in alignment with it. And now that it's there, now that what you've really always wanted, or, you know, the story of it is truly there, you're realizing how much it's actually not in alignment with who you are. And all you have to go off of to see this is of either something of the past or something else, and then whatever is currently being presented that is almost in this way of too good to be true, or it's like so fast, or there's just something not sitting right with you. Like you either just don't trust it because of the past, or maybe they want to move too fast, or why doesn't Taurus trust it? Oh, hold on. Okay. So I think for a lot of you, this person was manipulative. Why doesn't Taurus trust it? You got the Magician reversed. Yeah. The Page of Cups, the Strength card. Yeah, the Moon underneath. Yeah. So this for some of you, this person was manipulative. They weren't very involved in the love department. They probably didn't have a lot of spiritual discipline or discipline. They were ruled by their cravings. There was a lot of secrets. You know, they probably just booted you out. There wasn't give or take or stability. You know, a lot of in and out. A lot of offerings of love to probably different people, but either way, manipulative. It's for some people, it's going to be some you didn't trust. Let's see something. I just want to see what the current energy is of this. Because for some people, it might actually even be a good thing, but it's just not in alignment with you anymore. And some it, you know, may not be what it's really being presented as. It's going to be different for everybody, but what about the energy of the Sun, the King of Cups, and the Lovers? Yeah. I feel like this is current. So at first I got the 7th chakra reversed, and initially I got not higher vibration. They're in their lower energies. And then after that was deceit. So I'm not saying that this person or situation is necessarily bad. I just think they are still possibly in their lower energies. Like they haven't evolved yet either. What is the current energies? I think they're trying to, yeah, see, they're at it. That's exactly what I was saying. I think they're trying to see what's going on over here. Because I got with this, like, appreciation, like, smelling the roses, they're seeing what's over there. What options is it for them? Is the grass greener? They're kind of resting and thinking at the moment, and that's why I was like, oh, I think they're weighing out their options and thinking too, and there's indecisiveness. I feel like for some of you, this person or situation is kind of at an impasse themselves, if that's the right word. they're really bringing it strong, and it's really presenting. But it's not a permanent thing. It's a temporary vibe. There's almost a testing of the waters going on. But best case scenario, they can feel you out and see how you feel. Are you an option? What kind of option are you for them? And at the very least, if they fluster you, then they get, some type of narcissistic supply, or, ooh, I'm important and I just screwed up all their emotions or whatever. You get what I'm saying? And you got 7 of Swords when I cut it. Tell me about this Sun, King of Cups, Lovers energy, please. It's just not that evolved yet, is the way I feel on it. So please know that, and don't get yourself too whatever. I mean, have compassion for them too. Don't be all stuck up about it. But they're testing the waters. Their situation is not fully secure either. They might even be taking a break from something. Like how I said, rest and rejuvenate. They are in their lower chakras right now. They haven't evolved yet either. They are presenting a certain way, and they are testing the waters to see if the grass is greener somewhere else, because they're at a decision or an impasse. They have a decision to make in their life too. And they're kind of just offering cups. I mean, I don't know how many, but they're testing the waters, and not just your waters. Because they're trying to feel what they're doing. Kind of like what I was telling you not to do, because it's, should be within. They're kind of doing the opposite of what I'm telling you to do, and they're trying to figure out their external stuff. Why are they trying to put feelers out? Because they either are single, are thinking about becoming single, or might become single soon. This is my Game of Thrones deck. And maybe they're looking at you. Yeah, the Queen of Coins and that coins. They might be looking at you like you have something to offer them. Whether it's money, power, creativity, whatever. There's something they realize. And they have hopes for, and they want. Yeah, and the King of Coins. Maybe they want to try to rectify something. I feel like there is a little bit of genuineness there, that they do want to kind of fix something from the past, or they know what happened or whatever. But I don't think they're ready for the work of it yet. I don't think they're fully committed to the idea of it yet. I don't think they're evolved yet. As evolved as they need to be yet. I think they're coming more from a lack or security basis, but they still don't quite have what you would need if they're ever even going to. They're still lessons. Here's the World card. It doesn't show you very much. It's a map. But there's still stuff that needs to wrap up. I feel like it's a lesson or a karmic lesson. Anyways, so I'm not judging them as a person. I think it's going to come across as everything you could ever want. And maybe even feel for a minute as everything you could ever want. But this is a time to really use your discernment. Like this whole Queen of Swords. Because I don't think it's going to be exactly what you think right now. There's a testing of the waters going on, I feel. And I feel like maybe even you kind of know it. Or I'm telling you, this cognitive dissonance, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel like on one hand, you're going to be like sitting on top of the world. And then on the other hand, there's going to be a part of you buzzing that is like, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And they're going to see you as confused. They could be seeing you as an option too, which kind of matches what I was saying. So they probably see you as an option. You are probably one of the better options, but they see you as an option. But they also see you as confused. Maybe they even see you under the illusion they're trying to spit to you. Let's go into it and see. I'm trying to hurry this up. I don't want this video to be too long. Taurus videos are always so long. About the Seven of Cups. They could see you as confused about not like under an illusion. Like, do you move on? Are you stuck? You know, with the Eight of Swords, the Chariot. Are you in alignment? Also knowing, too, that not every cup or not every offer is a good offer. So don't let basically your wants for something so bad cloud your judgment, is really a lot of what this is saying, too. Like, always have a head and heart balance. And even if you do think something is good or you like it, like, it shouldn't move too fast. And if for some reason it does set you off or knock you off balance, I don't care what it is. You need to take time away and always maintain balance, always have self-care, and always keep your mind about you. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, but always have your head and heart balance. And if something seems off to you, don't wait to see what it is. Listen to your intuition. Tauruses are very much like they have to see it in the physical and they have to know, they have to have evidence, they have to blah, blah, blah. No, listen to your intuition. If something seems wrong, it probably is. And if it's meant to be and you're wrong, it'll come back around. But I think you're just going to know. Anyways, in your hopes and fears, you have a lot of cards. You have I'm not going to show them all to you. You have the Five of Swords, Judgment, Eight of Swords, Seven of Swords, Queen of Wands, Six of Swords, Eight of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. So basically, the energy from all these cards is you're probably scared that you'll see, you know, some stuff you're not going to like, but in the hopes, I think you're going to want to see what the problem is or see the energy that keeps you stuck and conflicted in general or with this person or situation or whatever. And you want to see it and move away from it and make the decision and take your power back to mentally move on and emotionally move on and have more balanced emotions and now know what to go after with this Queen of Cups. Be in tune with your emotions, but not let them rule you. I think you want to be victorious. You want to take your power back. You want to see. Like, you want to see things. Obviously, you want it to be the best case scenario, like the Sun with the King of Cups and the Lovers. But I feel like it's a face. And not even saying it's wrong, but something about it is a face. Something about it is not being presented fully. And you want to see that, or you will see that. It also could be, too, that with these two cards, somebody could be coming in, whether it's out of jealousy or just they're kind of a narcissistic personality or narcissistic tendencies, and they just want to win. They kind of have like a egoic or a battle kind of way about them. And they may be like putting judgments on you or saying things about you, especially if you're laying down these boundaries or not doing what they want you to do. And they may be saying things about you that kind of really hurt your feelings or aren't true. Please don't get triggered by people saying things about you that aren't true. Don't give that energy. You can either state your truth and let it be that, or just be like, okay. You know, you can't control what people think about you. Don't give your power away and don't give your energy away. But they may even be doing it to trap you and for devious reasons. Maybe they're seeing you start to do good. Maybe there's something, I don't know. Maybe because you do have a jealousy card down here. So maybe you're starting to see through their stuff and they might be flipping the script to confuse you and feeding you a line of crap. I don't know if for some people, their original intention might be to come and knock you off your pedestal because they're jealous of whatever's going on with you. For some people, they're testing the waters or seeing either for permanent basis or to just see what they can get in the meantime. And maybe it doesn't go exactly the way they want. And they start to like pull their games on you. And you see it. And they also say things about you to try to confuse you, trigger you. Because a lot of people like this too, they get what they want. If they don't get what they want, they will manipulate to get what they want by either taking things away from you and putting you in a certain mind frame. Especially if it's like, say if they want something sexual from you, a lot of them will remove what you want because, you know, a lot of women, let's face it, do tend to use their sexuality to try to get what they want or to connect, especially if they're not that evolved. So they could be doing that to try to get sex. Or they'll either remove something from you or they'll just play games to confuse you. And then when you become confused, you're either not as on the game about their crap or you're not seeing your own self properly, or they can puppet you easier. And they either want to get you to do whatever they want you to do, or they just want to come in and mess your stuff up for a little minute. I don't know. It's going to be different for everybody. But you want, or hopefully you see this. And you take your power back. You move mentally and emotionally, move away. And you have your own balance and your own focus and what to do. I don't know. I'm not saying this person or situation's bad. Some of them are, but some of them are just not where you need them to be right now. Like I just don't feel like this is a go thing right now. In your likely outcome, you have the 8 of Pentacles and you have the High Priestess. So you now know what to work on. You're now in alignment. You know what direction you're going. You are focused. But, I mean, it is going to be a little bit bittersweet. Because, you know, it is something you're going to feel very deeply about. I think one of the benefits that it's going to show you, though, like you have the Creator. This is technically the King of Wands. Consciousness, just the Ace of Swords. Celebration, 3 of Cups. Knight of Swords, fighting. 6 of Pentacles, compromise. And then you have the Fool reversed. So I think a lot of what this is like, on one hand it comes in like really good. It feels really good. And then it turns kind of quickly. It turns to a lot of fighting, a lot of ego, a lot of stuff comes up. You really look at where each other's putting the energies and you decide it's a no-go. Like you're not going to play the fool. Hey, okay. Sorry. I didn't take a break for a minute. But what I was saying was, I think another thing that's going to happen from this coming together is you're going to be able to see how to utilize something within yourself, almost in like a alchemy kind of way. Almost this feeling that maybe comes about when this all comes about. That's something you see about yourself. I'm trying to find the best way to say this. Like, where you realize, almost in a way where either that feeling was always within you all along, or where you can harness that energy when you want to. So when this comes, pay attention to where in your body you're feeling these feelings. Whatever it is in your body, just pay attention to your body, whatever is pleasurable and not pleasurable, and learn where it is and where to harness that energy. It might even tell you something if you pay attention to where it is close by your chakras. But either way, especially if you have learned about energy and stuff, but how to harness that energy and what it feels like. Reflect on it. Why? What do you like about it? Why? Just start to pay attention to it. And I feel like it's going to be different for everybody, so I don't think I can go farther than that. But just really reflect on it and pay attention. Like, last time you had all of this feeling or whatever it was in your life, you were just you were on autopilot. You were just doing. You weren't aware of what you were doing. You didn't self-reflect. You didn't think about it. Now you are, hopefully. Hopefully your eyes are open now. So reflect on it. Look at what it's showing you. Look at what you like. Look at what it means to you. What does it bring up? What feelings? Harness that energy where it is in your body. Also, so that you can bring it up and call upon it whenever you need it, or find that place and where to grow that of your own. I hope that makes sense. But I feel like not only is this going to come outside of you to show you really how far you've come, what you really want, who you really are, also that it's really within you and what's within you, but to find out truly, I feel like you're going to find this level of power or abilities or magic, if you will, in whatever way, even just the magic in life or the magic in your body or whatever, you're going to find or figure something out also about yourself. And honestly, I don't think it's in one way. I think it's going to be in at least a few different ways. But I feel like you're going to find it like within you. That all along you limited yourself and thought that it was external to you. And it wasn't. It was all internal. It's just that you thought it had to come from another source. And maybe this person or situation does or did always be the best mirror to showing what's inside of you. But now you're starting to realize that it's in you and you could cultivate it. You just never saw it. You were always looking outwardly, and not within. There's something you're going to learn to cultivate on your own. And it's going to come through some beautiful times, but also some tough times. Having to make a head over heart decision. You have the Lovers. Or some type of decision. It's obviously probably very spiritual, whether this is just spiritual in nature or spiritual relationship. Either way, it has a lot of significance. It's going to remind you who you are and help you blossom. Queen of Pentacles, Empress. It's going to feed a lot of energies within you. Even the Three of Wands. It is something you've been waiting for, but see how now it's like she's in touch with nature. There's like all this like magic around her. Magician, what to create, but really, like you've been waiting on. These are two cards very much about waiting on manifesting something. Here is your King of Pentacles. Maybe even something to grow in an unlikely place. Like, for some people, this might even be telling you, don't judge what happens here, that this has to happen. Go with the flow on it, because it's like, I think you have been waiting on something to grow and it's just been limiting you. But if it's supposed to, just trust in the situation that when something is meant for you and it's the right path, things will always grow in any situation. You can't keep it from you. Like, this is the seed that should have never grown here, but it is, and it's prospering and it's growing. So something also that you may see as not ideal or not going to where you want, or even the emotion that you want, don't judge it and shut yourself down and shut off your blessings before they even start, just because you're judging the situation and it's not going exactly the way you would have crafted. Because let's be honest, you've been trying to put something together for a while, possibly, whatever this is, and it either has never worked or it's not working now. So obviously you don't know how to do it. Maybe there is actually a plan and something going on that's larger than you that you can't understand. Your mind could never conceive of, because you don't have that much knowledge of what's going on in the world and the inner mappings and the connections of it. But trust. Kind of limit that little part of yourself down. This is the Strength card. Pull that part of yourself down that wants to come in and just rampage or take control or judge or be like freak out or whatever, and just go with the flow of this. Just observe. Speak your truth, but be calm. Observe. Watch the things flow. If something seems like it's being removed, just watch it. Let it go. Be yourself, of course, but let it go. State your wants, state your intentions, but just whatever's supposed to happen with that, let it go and see where the pieces fall is a big thing that I'm getting with this. Because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I don't know in how fast. I don't know if it's going to be like right away. I don't know if it's going to be like 6 months down the line, a year down the line, or a few years down the line. I don't know. But go with the flow. Just observe, be yourself. Let this be your time to be your genuine self and speak your truth if it needs to be. And also use this situation, whenever it comes up, to your advantage. If you find that there's a ball full of energy just sitting there, well, okay, that went away for a little while. What can I do with this now? Maybe put it into your work. Dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Solid foundation. This is a tower, but solid foundation, success with effort. Put it into something else to where you can use and manifest this energy. I'm sorry. I have peach and nectarine trees that I love, and they're only for like a short period of the year, and I wait for it every year. And I wait for them to come ripe on the tree, because really almost any fruit is best on the tree, like ripens on the tree. It has its best flavor, it has its most sugar. And I have this problem with, now the geese are messing with them too. But people have been coming up and stealing them. I mean, normally for a while they never touched them, but now lately it's like everybody else waits for the season of my trees too. And I keep finding people, and it's not that I don't like to share, but they come up and just take them, and not only they don't know how to take them off the tree, so they break the branches. They don't know the proper way to remove fruit off a tree, so they break my branches. But for one, that's respect. You should ask. If you're going to come on my property and take my stuff, come ask if you can take some. But also, did you ever think maybe the person who planted the trees want it? I mean, I know it's a crazy, wild thought. Who would think that? But, I mean, have compassion for it. Not everybody thinks outside of their own desires and everything, or they just don't care. But it sucks, because I'll be waiting on some, and I'll go out and feel them, and it's not quite soft enough to where I want to take it, but it's growing. And then every time I go out, it's like ones are gone that I've been waiting on. So, yeah. It's starting to upset me. So if you see me keep looking, because I can only see one of the trees, I'm like partially looking, or just then there was like a geese. He's been trying to like reach up from the bottom and eat them. I don't mind too much of that, but anyways, what was I saying? So just go with the flow on it, because just have faith, okay? And just trust. Do you have a star card anywhere? Because this is very much star cardy. Well, you do have Stardust, but just use this situation to not only learn more about yourself and more about the situation or person around you, also to set your boundaries and rectify yourself in some way, but remaining calm and staying empowered. Remember everything you've learned and have trust in the universe, because sometimes through your most chaotic situations and things that you don't understand, and that's usually when Tauruses tend to freak out, is when things kind of go awry and they don't understand it. And that's one thing I've learned from my awakening is I would have never planned any of this out, but I wouldn't have taken any of it back compared to where I was. And I feel like that's going to be one of these situations where it's not going to be something that you would have envisioned or saw or wanted, but it's going to end up better than you could have ever imagined. Giving you either exactly what you wanted, just in a different way, a more where it can heal everything way, or something else that gives you the same feeling or more, that you're just like, you know, why did I ever want that? And it's usually because you didn't see what else you could have, type thing, you know? So just have trust and have faith and flow through this, because it's going to wipe away a lot of the things you didn't see, a lot of the deceit. If it's not right for you, it's going to show you that. If it's just not for you right now, it'll help rectify that. So maybe in the future it can. So maybe even this person or situation, if some of you, this is a person, you know, can see things differently themselves. Remember, everything's perspective. So even the stuff other people are doing is through perspective. They have made it right in some way in their mind of why they're doing it. So, you know, maybe, and that's not even to say they're wrong. Like maybe over the years you have painted yourself in a perspective that you either didn't mean to or didn't think you were, but just because of what you were doing based off old habits and stuff, unfortunately you portrayed a certain image. And now you might be coming and portraying a different one, and one that, of course, they're not going to like at first, because you're going to be, you know, pulling your dress back from under their feet. You know, don't think of girl or guy on that. It's for visual or understanding. You're basically pulling your boundaries back and not having someone stand on what's yours. You know where you end and they begin type thing. You're a real person. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a little hard sometimes for people when they go through that. And that's the make it or break it situation, really. So it's really going to put someone or something to the test too. If this is a person, and not, you know, bear with me for people who aren't dealing with a person with this, but if it is a person where they're going to be faced with that option now, not just you. Like, you're not going to be the only one here making a decision. They are too. Their decision is going to be, what do I want out of this? Because now it's like what's available on the table possibly isn't anymore. There's different things available, different things for the taking. Either it's nothing and just thanks, that was good, that was real, good, you know, bye, you know, or it's different stuff. What can develop now? Like, it almost might seem like, it might really be, or it might seem like there's nothing left that can grow. You know what I mean? It's almost like the dynamics will have changed. And you may not know what to do with it. They may not know what to do with it. It might be like, you know, at first, really like, okay, well, I guess it's done. Or, you know, calling your bluff type thing. Okay, well, I guess it is, you know, and to see if they can get their way out of your fear or desperation. Which I think, I don't know, some Tauruses may fall on that, but I think a lot of Tauruses have really, you know, found their worth. Not even just their power, but their worth. And that's a big thing when you know your worth and what you bring to the table. And that you're not willing to settle for somebody else who's not going to bring something that's just as worthy to the table. And also your priorities have, I think, changed. You know, you're not as lower level energy, at least a lot of them that have been doing the work aren't. And they're going to have to realize, like, what do I really want from Taurus? What, you know, is that all I wanted? Do I want anything? They're going to have to make that decision. They're going to have to look at their ego on this, on really, for some of you, how much they want you in their life at all. And, you know, on one hand, as scary as that might be, for the most part, I don't think it's scary. A little bit of it would be a little sad or bittersweet just for the complete closing of that, if that was my situation, but not really, because I would more get to this point where, you know, it either shapes up and fits in line some way to where it opens up where something can grow, or it doesn't. Like, I'm not down with, I feel like a lot of Tauruses for a while, I mean, like, more talking than cards, but have been in a lot of limbo situations. I think, and not even so much since the awakening, I think just the awakening has made us more aware of it. And yes, it has done certain things with our life, but it's made us more aware of how we've kept certain situations in life very in limbo or to other people's discretion and not our own, which is very much a giving away of your power. So I know for me personally, I'm getting to this point where I can just see things and I can't ignore it anymore. And I don't know if I'll ever be that way. Maybe as I could go with the flow, but there's just certain doors that I don't want to keep open anymore. Especially not if they're not having a healthy flow within them. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's the point. It's not really that I have a problem if doors are left open, obviously, because then that's how you have relationships. But I just don't want to have ones that they're just not in alignment with me, or they don't have like an even give and take, or they're not real. Like, I can't handle superficial stuff anymore. Like, I don't want anything that's not, I don't want to say real because it's all real, but you get what I'm saying. Like, depth. There's depth to it. Yeah. So I think you're both going to have to realize that. And it may happen right away, or it may even be like, there may be a period afterwards where nothing happens, or it looks like it fell apart, or it really did fall apart. And it's kind of that moment. I feel like this is very much one of those moments, or has a high likelihood of leading to that moment where it's really do or die. You know what I mean? Not you, but the situation itself, because it's able to see it's almost that. So here's the thing I'm trying to say about it is, when it wipes away, because I feel like this is a wiping away type thing, it leaves room for an energy to see what will grow, not only within you, but also within them, but also between the two of you. That doesn't mean something's going to grow. It means it may never be nurtured, and it will just, or it will just be sitting there, either never touched or nurtured, or waiting for the right circumstances, exactly like this. This was like the right circumstances allowed this to happen. So it might be waiting for like the right circumstances to come in and allow something else to grow, maybe on a sturdier foundation. Because otherwise, before, I don't think it was. I think it was just, it suppressed you. It, you know, wasn't really, it was a lot of face fronting, not really illusion. It might even be an opportunity where You guys see where it went wrong. And it changes things. I almost get this vibe too of like a last bit of karma. Almost like wrapping things up that like was left undone. A closing of the door, literally. I feel like it's very karmic in nature. And that's probably why you have the Justice here too. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. In the world. And after that karma is wrapped up, now leaves this opportunity, right? This bundle of energy to see what you, in your free will, I guess, maybe it was destined, I don't know, are going to do with this energy. And that's not something that may happen right away. So don't be like, woo, you know, you're right there. Like, you don't know. That's why you have to keep going with what you're doing. Utilize your own energies that come from this. Chances are this person or situation is going to do the same thing. They're going to utilize their own energies that come from this. And it may not look pleasurable at first. Like, you literally are going to have to just let go with the flow. And just trust. And know that what's supposed to be will be. I mean, obviously, go after your things. Do what's best for you. You'll know. Follow the energy. I think Tauruses, in a lot of ways, have been doing a great job with that anyways. Some get a little stuck. But, I mean, that's natural. You know, you're going to be working through those blocks. So, just go with that energy. And go with the flow of it and where it takes you. Because, just to give you a perspective, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you might have to go somewhere first in order to get where you are trying to go. Or if it's a person, you might have to be with somebody else first for them to teach you another lesson in order for the lesson to click to go where you want it to go. Just a thought, thinking of different thoughts. That's why I say you really have to just release it and let go, because you could not construct the plan that, you know, the universe could bring for you and what's best for you. Just do you and do what's best for you and go with the flow of it. I feel like this is a pivotal moment for all that. I think it's one of those things that's going to look like the sky is falling or it's just not that great of a situation. But in the end, it is. Not just because emotionally you end up getting what you wanted. Mostly you're just going to find that it was within you all along, which is honestly the best option you could ever have, and it's not in something else. So you'll find that. You're going to find your own stuff. You're going to find your own power and take it back. It's going to help align you. It's going to get your mind right. You're going to be moving forward, and you're going to feel better than you ever have. But the icing on the cake, it may or may not align the situation you want to. If not, it is going to be something better. Okay? But there's definitely something karmic here and I think you're both stuck in an illusion to see and to let go of and release, because there's no way that this would have to be removed. It's like the last piece to the puzzle before this karmic wheel changes. It would have to be removed. It's going to help you to not be in limbo anymore. But you have the Two of Swords here too. And it's going to give you a level of mental and emotional harmony. And then you bust out. The true you bust out. Out of all that sorrow and worrying that's keeping your inner Queen of Wands trapped. Which then leads to the Two of Cups, and you have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. And it heals it. You merge with your higher self. Success. You have the Six of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. This one's going through cycles. Some type of fertility. You either create something in some way. So either way, go with the flow. During this time, I guess I'll go with these animal cards right now. Discernment before passionate encounter leads to the magic of love. So, like I said, please use a level of discernment, especially if this is a sex thing, like someone coming in for sex. Please use a level of discernment. Know also that there may, for a little bit of you, may be a level of manipulation going on here to get sex. So if you find someone comes in hot and heavy, or they start doing manipulative things, even mentally and emotionally, you know, I don't know, based off your old thought patterns, you might have in the past, you know, had sex to either try to reel them in or feel connected to them or whatever. A lot of women, some women do that consciously, some do it subconsciously, some don't do it at all, but most women do. And that's why, you know, it's allowed to happen to women. So please use a level of discernment and really decide if that's what you really want, and if you're doing it to create any type of outcome, or if you're just doing it because you just want to do it. And please make sure you can clear the energy out of you if you do. Let courage lead you to seek support and overcome a fear of intimacy. So either way, let courage lead you. Recognize the riches of the past and the abundance of the present. This teaches you forgiveness and gratitude. The bigger picture, a very spiritual picture. And you have friends, hippopotamus, friends stand close by to shield from life's adversities. I don't know really what that's supposed to mean, but maybe it also can help you to look at whether or not people around you, this situation or person, are they doing what's best for you, or are they doing what's best for them? And it's not bad to do what's best for you, but especially if you're claiming to be close to somebody, love somebody, or be their friend, you're not going to try to do what's best for you at the detriment of somebody else. That's not a true friendship. So maybe it's really going to teach you who really is in your corner and who really isn't. And that is probably something that's really going to hurt about this, is that you may realize that this situation or person was never what you thought it was. That they just never really thought about you the way you did them, or they never really cared about you or had the same plans for you as you did them. And on one hand, that would be, you know, that would really suck. It is going to change a whole lot of the way you think about things. So it is going to change your life just because of what's in your mind. But in a way too, like I would say, bring it. You know what I mean? You might as well just cut it out and move on in a way that's more realistic. I'd rather know than not know. But honestly, it'll be mostly like that you won't even be able to lie to yourself anymore. Like, you'll see it. And forgive yourself. I mean, it's all part of it. It was part of your lesson. It was part of the karma. A lot of times when you have karma, that's why you don't see things. So it was part of it. It was part of something you had to learn. It evened out. The scales are now balanced. So just take your lesson and move forward and rebuild. Because now you're going to have this, like I said, this little pit of ball of energy and opportunity that you can do whatever you want to. Like, this could also be like inner child. Like, you can now look deep within you now that this illusion is wiped out and actually do that which is genuinely within you. And go after that, and not after just patterns in, you know, with something you've been blindly going after. Do you get what I'm saying? So just look at the benefit to this. Don't try not to have like a bah humbug view on it, because this is leading you to the better. I think that's what the rhinoceros is really showing. Abandon, compromise, and fight valiantly for what you believe in. Speak your truth. Relax, but speak your truth. The alchemy of energy teaches that death will always yield new life. Exactly. Seek out deep knowledge to see through deception. But I think that's the thing with it. I think you're going to see the truth about a situation or a person. And again, I'm not saying it's always going to be that way. Maybe they're going to see the truth about you. Everything's about perception. So things could always change. So go with the flow. I know this is very contradicting or going over, but that's life. It's polarity. You know, the weirdest things can happen where as soon as you get to the point where you're done with it because you see through it, the other person can now see through in a different way and be like, oh my God, I never saw it that way. You know, it's weird. That's how the universe works. Seriously. As soon as, like, usually you don't want it, something usually comes or whatever. So, you know, just, that's why I say, go with the flow. Use the water energy, because if not, your mind is so gonna be so boggled, because Taurus is really trying to look for that tangible and that finite. Like, it's either black or white. It's black or white. Okay, it's not this. Okay, it's this. Oh, it's not that. Okay, it's this. And after too many times of doing that, you're not gonna know what to believe. And you're gonna go kind of crazy because you're trying to find something to hold on to. It's very much a Taurus energy, the Four of Pentacles. I think literally Taurus does rule the Four of Pentacles. But it's very like, okay, I got it. And you lock onto that. And that's one of their downfalls, is not going with the flow and seeing that life is not black and white. It doesn't just, oh, it's this, oh, it's this. No, it has a polarity to it. It's so simple yet complex at the same time. So just as soon as you learn one lesson, like the opposite could happen. And it's almost even that lesson in itself that's showing you just to go with the flow. That's why it's so important just to be you, do you, explore you, evolve you, and see what energy aligns with you, because it's always going to change. If you're trying to do something or be something that you're not, you're always going to be uncomfortable. Like, not everybody's always going to like you. That's a lesson Taurus also needs to learn. Not everybody is always going to like you. And you're not always going to please everybody. There's no way to please yourself. And if you try, you will die. There is no, your best thing is not even to try to figure out the world. Because the more you figure yourself out and the more you explore yourself, the more you figure other people out. The more you figure the world out. It's within you. It's all within you, not out there. You can't, this is a situation where Tauruses cannot manipulate the tangible world, because it's all within you. That's where you find that which you really want. It's almost like an evolution in a way, like how I say, signs first evolve to their opposite sign, then they evolve to the other signs and what aligns with them. And I feel like a lot of Tauruses really are learning lessons lately that are from their Scorpio side, their Scorpio opposite. Of course, we're not going to be Scorpios, but we're picking up more of their traits, maybe even understanding a little bit more of their ways. I know I have been trying in a balanced way, but I can just tell that I'm evolving. And as I'm evolving, I do happen to start to see things more like where, certain Scorpios I do know, I find myself doing some more of the things that they do. Not all, but some of them. Like, I understand certain things of them a little bit better now. Not that that's really important, but I just find it happening. So just go with the flow, okay? It'll serve you the best. But this is a very significant situation. I mean, this is very karmic. I don't know if it's just going to stay karmic, but I feel like there was a contract that is being written up right now, which is probably why you also have the Justice card, contract. And it's about, ending this. The ending of a cycle. And again, another thing of using her intuition. Like, she's not seeing, she's blindfolded. So she either doesn't want to make a decision or she's using her intuition to make a decision. And I think you are, because the High Priestess came out for the Justice, and the High Priestess is in your likely outcome. So it's telling you to go within and listen to you for this decision to be made, because it is trying to end a cycle for you. And I do feel like it's karmic. It was meant to be. And this kind of aligns with what I was saying on, so I'll show these cards. You have jealousy, envy, punishment, changing course. So I don't know, somebody might be jealous of you. I'll look more into that in a second. Creator. This is totally about like that alchemic process. Like, utilize this energy to your benefit. Create with it. You have hunter, aggressor, tracker, provider. Again, harnessing this energy and using it to create and do something with it. Someone else might also be doing this to you, especially since it was under the jealousy card. Eternal youth, energy, newness, vitality. So I also think that you should be hungry, be the hunter, use this energy to create for you. But considering the way these have lined up, I do think that some people might be coming in for reasons that are not that good to them. I don't know if it'll stay that way, because I feel like they're going to have a level of realization. Like I said, they're still in their lower levels. So the jealousy and the aggressor are very lower level. Yours are very higher level. You have creator, catalyst, maker, mother, father, eternal youth, energy, newness, vitality. So some of them, their lives may be like, I don't know. And they see, they see what's available to you. They see your abundance. They see what you're creating, whatever, all of that. And they either want to stop it or they want to be a part of it. And that's, to be honest, is okay. I'm not saying that in a judging way, because there's always learning opportunities. Maybe and that's a card somewhere. Like, there was a card I'd read. It was one of these cards that was like, you never know the power or the impact you could have on someone's life. I think it's this one. I may read it. And I didn't really understand what it was saying, but I do now. That this is why, okay, so I'm getting like this feeling like I want to cry. Usually, just so you know, whenever I say that, either I'm feeling someone's emotions, but whenever there's a truth that I'm saying that means something a lot, it either makes me where I want to cry. I don't know if it'll always feel that way, but I feel it in my stomach up to my throat. And sometimes I'll get like chills too, like they'll run up my body. This is karmic, and it's not just for you, it's for them too. So there's something that they need or are going to see too, possibly. If not now, it'll be a seed planted. But this is why you need to keep yourself together. Okay? I hope you guys are still with me this long. If this situation resonates with you, whether it's a person, maybe it could be a situation or work, I don't know. Just apply it to your life as necessary. I'm going to speak as two people and just do what you need to do with it. This is why you need to keep yourself together, because you want to present the gift of a balanced mirror. Okay? So, and it might be hard. This is why you might want to do some throat clearing type stuff for your chakra, so that, because I know with me, sometimes when I really get into it or something's really emotional, it like starts to quiver and I start to cry, and I really don't want to be like that if I am a well, but I've had I think I've done many other Taurus videos talking about this, but you're going to want to remain as logical but emotionally balanced, not overly emotional, where you can speak your emotions, you can speak your truth in a very non-judgmental, understanding way, but just where it's a conviction, where you understand, you're like, this is just what I thought, maybe don't even put it in a way of it's right or wrong. Don't let somebody discredit your truth, but don't act like your truth is more important than somebody else's truth. Because when you do that, regardless whether you think it's right or not, you're automatically limiting and sabotaging that situation or that growth moment. And you're automatically making everybody, including yourself, put the walls up. Because sometimes people need to speak their truth also, not only to get it out to compare, but to even hear their own truth. Or to see your conviction on it. And whenever you come in with an aggressive energy, and they might literally, I'm serious, because they've got jealousy in Hunter, aggressor, tracker, provider. They've got this more aggressive energy. Which is why it's kind of confusing to me how they're coming in. And I think this is your perspective, but I also think this is how they're showing. With the Sun energy, King of Cups, and the Lovers. I think there's going to be this strong, like, you know, but I don't think it's the energy behind it. Again, I think this goes back to my last Soulmate Taurus video. Somebody's like fresh out, either fresh out of school or fresh out of jail vibe. Not that they're in jail, but that energy. And there's an aggression or a restlessness to it, which might be the reason, you know, for this. Which might be why they end up saying things and, you know, with this judgment card and judging you. And you see certain things. Don't judge them back. Have a level of compassion, but have your boundaries. Leave if you need to. But they're coming from lower levels. So it's up to you. You discern what you can do and what you can't. But try to remain that higher consciousness perspective and knowing where they're coming from. Don't take it personally. Do not let your ego get triggered. Because it's not going to be as beneficial. And then when they go home and think and do their stuff, they're going to reflect on how you were. So you want to remain calm. You want to remain fair. You want to remain compassionate, but strong and in your truth. But also open to hearing their truth. You know what I mean? And knowing that yours isn't really necessarily right. Theirs isn't necessarily right. You've both got to come to the middle and see, like, where you both not went wrong, but where that energy that is causing that conflict or confusion or illusion can be released. Because until that energy is released, this will stay exactly the way it is, or it will dissipate and there will just be regret and resentment. So how you are, you might have to take a little bit of the bigger road at first. And I know you're like, no, I always am. It's time for me to stand up. Sometimes you standing up is being the bigger person. Not being a doormat, not apologizing for things you shouldn't, but just stay, even if you feel yourself getting triggered, just stay relaxed and know that it's something for you to work through and it's not you. Understand the energy of it is what I'm trying to say. Not the ego, not the personality, the energy. There are energies playing out here. Because you are going to be coming in as more of a relaxed, loving, nurturing energy, and they're going to be coming in with a lower level energy. Because I think there's something they don't see about themselves. And they either aren't going to want to, and they're just going to away, and that's that. Cycle wrapped, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Or they're going to realize something. But you're going to realize some stuff about yourself. So are they. And I think it's going to be along your lineage, family patterns. Also, you know, abilities and stuff within you. So this is going to help you in a way align and move on. Even if it comes back together, you are going to be able to release old stagnant energies that are not good for you. You're going to align. For them, it's going to show them things they haven't seen. there may be secrets to it too, but I think they're going to see things that they didn't see before. I think their defenses might actually come down. I don't know when or how or whatever, but... So, I'm not going to go any more into this. Just, like I said, go with the flow on this. So I realize now this is their energy and your energy. It might even bring you to a little bit of sadness. Like, you're going to have to find your own special place in unconditional love. You're going to find a lot of stuff within yourself. Your own power, your own love, your higher connection love, all of that. You're going to find that. But something might be sad for a minute. It says, cry for nature, mourning for something sacred which seems lost. There may be even, it may completely go, or you may think that this is going to go just by the way the cycle wraps up. But like I said, it has this new seed of opportunity. And just go with the flow on things and do your life, because you never know, things grow sometimes in those situations. And then you have Stardust. Also, stranger in a strange land. New experiences, feeling a certain transition zone. Like you're going to be changing and transitioning. So I'm going to read the cry for nature. Sorry this is so long. I don't know if I'm going to read all this. Just a time of grief, seeing something sacred lost. The grief you feel must be honored and expressed and felt, and then healing can take place. There's no shame in weeping for which seems to be lost. The tears in the water that brings new life, or are the water that brings new life. So do not feel that you must hold back. This card indicates deep sadness and inner frustration on behalf of the questioner when confronted with the enslavement of the environment, animals, marine life, and elemental life to man's needs. The effort to overcome these institutionalized brutalizations of our flora and fauna, of our earth, Gaia, can seem so very great and can take on so much energy. You may feel as you fight this good fight, you are barely making any progress at all, and that you are restricted and thwarted and overwhelmed. But the efforts you make will do more than change things. They will make you very strong, and you will be sending a ripple effect throughout our world, often without even knowing who you have inspired. Do not underestimate the impact you will have. And that's what I'm saying, is like, you might feel like you have made no progress because you didn't get what you want out of this, but it's not going to work out that way. You're going to find a lot about yourself. You're going to find your power and also take your power back. There's going to be a confidence, something about yourself you didn't see actually come out of this. But also, I get this vibe for at least some of you that doing this and you standing up for yourself and seeing how much you've grown, I think it does affect this person or situation. I think it either inspires them or it helps them see you in a way that they never have before. Regardless how that turns out. But also, during this time that is so sad, it may be a dark night of the soul or just like a mini type of depression, or while you're purging, basically. I think it's going to be a source back to you. You have Stardust, Premonition, Galactic Communications, Beginnings and Endings. It's funny, you have 8 and 8. You have 8 and then 35, which goes to 8. I feel like you're going to be connecting more. Like, you're going to find, some of you, especially that have a lot of, you know, magical or healer type vibes within you, I think a lot of you are going to be connecting to that. Stardust is about, this card can signify a return to source, a sense of needing to rewrite the soul contract. Why? Because this contract is now over. Changing and moving into a new stage of life, a new incarnation. In order to make sense of these feelings, you may need to be alone in the dark to work something out. Just kind of like this. or under the stars. It might actually benefit you too to actually sit under the stars. Like, you know, they say you can like find a star, like one that you connect with in the sky, and just sit and meditate with it. Maybe even bring a crystal or a stone or something with you that as you do that, you could put that energy into it, and that's the intent for that crystal or stone. So that any type of download or connection you get from that, you can always just meditate with that in case you can't ever find that star. But considering we're going into a time of Taurus season, you should be able to, I think, I don't know where you are in the world, so I don't know, don't quote me on this, but you might have a higher likelihood of, you know, seeing the constellation of Taurus and maybe like the Pleiades and Aldebaran or whatever it is. You may want to meditate under the stars exactly like this, stardust, and connect. A lot of them, not all, I don't know, have like their home is Pleiadian or from that area. So even if not, you're a Taurus. So you might want to sit under there and meditate to that and connect to that energy. Maybe they have apps on your phone where you can find the constellations. If you don't find the Taurus one, just find a star or something that really calls to you and sit and look at the stars and meditate on that and connect to it. Maybe bring a stone or a crystal or something out with you that you can transfer that energy into. Like I said, so when it's not there and you can't find it, you can always meditate and harness that. You get what I'm saying? I hope so. Receiving messages clearly, like I said, and strongly. It's so crazy how all this stuff comes together, because when I first looked at this, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, and now I do. Receiving messages clearly and strongly, hesitant to act on them. Waiting patiently for more information, seeking connection in the night sky. When we see other constellations and galaxies and understand our own stardust selves and origins. Exactly. That's exactly what I was just saying. Thinking a great deal about off-Earth matters, about life in the universe, and wondering where there are galactic beings connecting with you. Visions and dreams of these beings and off-world communities and civilizations. Light beings connections, ascended masters connections. Clues as to what will happen, but lacking absolute clarity means you are feeling you must pin it down to follow your instinct. So absolutely listen to your intuition, but go with the flow. So that's crazy how these just worked out. This is cool. Because I've been guided to do this too. And I didn't even put it together until now. But that's okay. And so now your animal spirit cards, or I would say we're done, but I might pull 3 or 4 shamanic guidance cards real quick. So you have the moth. So I'll show them to you real quick. You have the moth. You have the panther. Hold on. You have the panther. You have the frog. This is your water energy. The whale, again, your water energy. And you have the phoenix. Here's your Scorpio energy. So the moth also is maybe like helping you overcome something that you've just always been guided to. Like moths always go to light, even though it's not good for them. So maybe it's helping you work. Here's your darker, like working out of the karma and seeing the light and understanding why you do what you do, you know, and not just repeating the same things. But impulsive, hasty, wishful. The moth is sure the grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything that's shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, and burnout. It's helpful to remind moth energies that life is complex no matter the illusion. No one is exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey. Practice seeing life as an infinite mystery rather than wishing it was easy or different. When in balance, enthusiastic, whimsical. When out of balance, idealizes others, jittery. To bring into balance, finish a project. So I think this is you too, especially about going after things that maybe burn you or that aren't great for you, and kind of seeing the light of it. But I do think this is also their energy. That's why I think they see you as an option, something shiny and new, something like fun to play with for a minute. But I think by you doing what you're going to do, it may help pop them out of that. But yourself as well. So you have Panther. Let me get this done fast enough. Annihilation of the unnecessary, purging. Exactly. The unnecessary. So this is releasing you of this moth energy. I think for the both of you, actually, to be honest. I don't know if it's on the same level, but some of you it will be that way. Releasing you of this energy of just going towards, you just keep redoing the same thing over and over again, even though it keeps getting a bad result. The whole karmic pattern of it. The Panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us more towards a fulfilling light. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the Panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the Panther's journey always leads towards a brighter place. When in balance, brave and productive. When out of balance, self-destructive. To bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. And what does that lead you to? The Frog. The cleansing energy. This is after you have released the energy. Or the what's not serving you. Clearing, cleansing, healing. The frog and the water element, like I said, water element, are almost inseparable. The frog spends its first months of life entirely within this healing element and then emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, their need for cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished. There's also a transformation process here. You know, frogs go from tadpole to frog. And then the energy emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, their need for cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished, so it's vital that sensitive creatures practice self-care. This card serves as a reminder that water helps us forgive, cleanse, and release. Time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry a heavy load. When in balance, clear energy and enthusiasm for life. When out of balance, depleted, running on energy. To bring in a balance, lake, river, ocean, or bathhouse. And then you have whale. Desire to delve deeper. Profound peace, ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their life. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost, and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. When in balance, calm, steady, deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy, slips into the old story. To bring into balance, regular self-care. So 2 cards on regular self-care. And then, let's see if we'll do the Phoenix real quick. Freedom from suffering and past karma, reincarnation. So karma, done. The Phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The Phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication. Tapas. The essence of the Phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. At the very moment the spark of the Phoenix is lit and the great bird helps us to burn through our baggage, we no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and the dead weight fall into the ashes, and a light and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the Phoenix lifts our spirits up and up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's the sign the fire of transformation is upon your wings. And this is the first chakra, so it'd be your root chakra. The enlightenment is our earth center. Muladhara, I don't know, our first root. The ascent of the Phoenix begins here, and as the entanglement of karmas is slowly burned, it rises from the ash towards the navel center. Again and again, it makes this journey from the first to the third chakra, purifying our essence, freeing us from the past. So I'm telling you, this is a wrap-up of karma. So let's see if I can fit in real quick 3 or 4 advice cards, and then we'll be done. Please like, share, and comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. Anything for readings or services, all in the description box below to see if this applies to you even. And also my PayPal or for donations or my email information, all of that. Description box below. And happy birthday again. You have, again, High Priestess, third High Priestess. Intuition. Really, really listen to your intuition and your higher self. Advice for Taurus. So here's you on the bottom, Hierophant, and meditating. So again, you have the Ten of Swords, but again, here's your Phoenix. As you're falling and you feel like everything's falling, you are growing your wings of the Phoenix. This is coming into place. So don't let it freak you out too much, or don't judge the situation. Just go with the flow. Water energy. The end of conflict, the end of not knowing who you are. Don't look to others to be who you are. Look within. So this is a big look within, because it's reversed. You know, he's looking, what suit do I want to take on? Blah, blah, blah. It's reversed. And then I think you have the King of Swords. So, you know, stay rational. Head and heart, balance, but stay logical. Make a decision. Look to your higher self for this decision. Like, this to me is very like they're weighing it out, but they're putting it out to their higher self or to the universe for this decision, for this knowledge. And then you have the Hermit. Go within. Like, he's again looking to that. They're all telling you to look to the higher energies and look within. For this whole process, go within and connect. Go within, connect. Go with the flow. Water energy. And it's going to be ending a lot of this. This whole karmic pattern is going to be done. And you will be reborn. Okay? I love you guys. I hope this really helps you. I'm sorry it's so long. Thank you for all your patience with me and being with me on this journey and allowing me to walk this journey with you. Email me if you need help on this. Don't forget, my services, like, share, comment, subscribe, all this stuff. Thank you so much for everything. I love you guys, and I have this feeling like I want to be like, may the odds ever be in your favor or whatever. I don't know, but good luck with this. You guys will do fine. Either way, it'll work out the way it needs to. So just go with the flow, okay? I love you. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.